why is it that everybody who wants, we're bragging about restrictions and regulations as if they were something to be commended? You want to impose restrictions and regulations on everybody else, but of course you don't want restrictions and regulations to be imposed upon you or the people that you like. If we continue to talk about this situation between the mom and pa's and the large corporations, I don't see anybody begging for restrictions and regulations on mom and pa's. Oh, they ought to be left totally free. But on the large corporations, oh, we need unions to come in and regulate the conditions of the workers. But if government were to favor these large corporations, which would essentially be the same thing as restricting the small corporations, we'd all be offended. Oh, how could government put such an advantage with the larger companies? But yet we want this same advantage placed in favor of the mom and pa's. We want no unions in the mom and pa's. But oh, Walmart ought to have unions. Flying J, they ought to have unions. Well, now, mom and pa, when they've got, their daughter home on college break, working the register, is she getting corporate benefits? Does she have medical insurance? Are they providing her a pension plan and a 401k? Or is she probably working, for minimum wage, just to have a little spending money, during the summer, or to save up money during the summer for living and spending expenses when she goes back to college? Where's the big pay package and medical insurance coverage for her? What about the wife of the owner? That runs the grill back there in the back. What about the cousin or the neighbor that's waiting tables there at the non-flying J, the mom and pop? Where's their incentive package? Where's their benefits? Where's their college tuition reimbursement? Where's their medical insurance? Do they have dental coverage? No, I don't see it. And you wouldn't want it that way. But yet, oh, Flying J, they ought to be. They ought to have unions. A little grocery store where the man has owned the same grocery store for 20 years. And, he's raised his son in there. Now his son owns it, and his grandson is running the counter, and his grandsons and his nephews are little stocking boys, stocking the shelves. Are they making way above minimum wage, or are they probably making minimum wage? Do they have medical insurance, or do they probably have no medical insurance? But yet Walmart's stockers, they ought to have medical insurance. They ought to have dental insurance. They ought to be making above the minimum wage. They ought to be doing all this stuff. Well, why? Why? What you want to do is, I don't even know if you've, even gone this route of accusing the larger corporations of political capitalism. But I give that to you. I've given that to you. What you want to do is, it seems like you feel like they have some kind of unfair advantage, so you want to impose another unfair advantage on the other hand. When the much better result for everybody involved is to not allow large corporations to curry political favor and not favor small corporations in imposing undue restrictions on labor or anything else that is employed by large corporations. What it is you've got emotional over one particular group. You know, and there's a guy somewhere working in a factory that's heavily invested in his 401k in Walmart, and he means nothing to you because you're so invested in this one perception. But you want us to favor your favorite group, and you know the investors in Walmart, which include people that are in municipal pension plans and state pension plans, government employees, factory workers, 401k plans. These guys, you want us to tilt the game against them when they're just a regular old Joe like you. I say even the playing field. Don't give the investors in Walmart any particular advantage by uh, allowing them to receive subsidies and things like that for setting up shop in a particular town. And don't give Ma and Pa an advantage by not requiring them to conform to the same restrictions that you want to put on larger entities. What I say is leave the advantage with the consumers. Don't give one advantage to one type of corporation or another. Leave the advantage with consumers and allow them to make the choices. Because when both people are left unrestricted and unfavored, they're forced to compete through either providing lower prices or better quality products and services in order to retain people's business. And of course, that is a huge advantage to consumers because we get cheaper prices and better quality. So don't ask us to favor one group simply because you favor them. What you should be asking is for total freedom on both parties, total fairness and total equality, no advantages for one particular party or another, and let consumers determine the rest. For some reason you don't seem willing to do that, and maybe you are willing to do that. Maybe you just haven't thought of it, or maybe I've got your perception down wrong, I've got your viewpoints down wrong. But from what I can tell on this video that I watched here, it's not what you're advocating, and I don't understand why, because what I'm talking about would be ultimately far more advantageous for everybody concerned, and it wouldn't grant certain political favors to either type of entity, which would only be used, to the detriment of consumers. So that's what I think would work to solve your problem a little bit better.